You are now listening to WSN, Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
Home of the hottest takes and the best interviews in college radio.
Hold on, wait a minute. We need a little more energy. This is Sports Pack. Yeah, there we go.
Home of the hottest takes and debates.
There is no way I'm going to sit here and roll with Jared Stidham and Ayden O'Connell.
Richard.
There's just no way.
And the best interviews in college radio.
This is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
You know what time it is. Wolves Country.
Let's ride.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Pack. As always, I'm your host, Richard Reed, joined by Carlie, my guy John.
What's going on?
And I normally would say Jackson Schrader in the third spot, but things are a little different today. Schrader's out sick, so we got my guy Ayden filling in for the first half of the show. How you feeling, Ayden?
I feel great. Happy to be here today.
I'm happy to have you. We also have my guy Joey. He's another Wick coming in shadowing. He will not be on this Thursday because we have fall break, but he will be on live at some point next Monday to fill the gap and finish up part of his WIT training. We also have my boy Nick coming in for the second half of the show. Well, not the second half of the show, the second portion of the show. And Dalen coming in for the last segment to bring us home. Now, before we really get rolling, Schrader, we love you. We hope you get well soon. But we have something here to represent you here on Sports Back. Schrader, we have not forgotten you. We are rooting for you. So we're going to keep this on set the entire time. Here, Ayden, go ahead and set this up in front of Schrader's normal seat. For those of you that may be watching on, that may be listening through radio, we have a beautiful picture of Schrader from when he was a young man. He looks like he was about, 12, 13 years old-ish? I don't know. But we have it propped up in the studio. That's for you, Schrader. Now, look, before we get rolling, I just need to remind you of some fantastic news. The Wolves Deli Station is returning to West Commons. Build your own sandwich to your liking as you choose from our several bread, meat, and cheese options. More information can be found at dine_west on Instagram. Now let's talk some West Georgia sports, baby.
Is Widener rolls to the right. He's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it, and it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
Go Wolves indeed. And look, I love my West Georgia Wolves. I'm going to scream go Wolves and throw this wolf up every time I get the chance. But Saturday's show didn't make it difficult. Yeah. Because
not
our
so
West
fast,
Georgia Wolves had, I love Lee Corso, but not so fast, my friend. Because that right there was a rough game. For those of you that listen to the Tailgate Show, you know we talked this game up a lot on Saturday. The University of North Alabama, our old school rivals, came back to Carrollton for the first time in over 20 years to take on your West Georgia Wolves. And we're like, okay, this is an 0-5 team. Our team is 1-2, coming off a bye week. This really isn't a 1-2 team. Well, it wasn't from what we saw. We're like, okay, if there's a time for West Georgia to get back rolling, it was going to be this game against North Alabama.
Yeah.
Look at here, man. That is one of the ugliest football games I have ever seen.
Agreed.
Now, the defense was impressive in certain areas, but the offense, I don't even know what to call. Can we call it an offense? I don't really know what to say about it. Ayden, you look just as disappointed as me. I'm going to kick it over to you first. How did you feel about that game this past Saturday?
Just a depressing show on offense, really. I looked looking over at the stats, 45 minutes of possession for North Alabama.
Wow.
Just 15 for the Wolves. That's not a formula to win anything.
45?
The University of North Alabama had the ball for 45 of 60 minutes of the football game.
43-16. I was being a little dramatic, but
Still.
Same gross, different bag. I almost just took this headset off and left.
Yeah, that's not good.
How do you expect to win a football game, even be competitive in a football game, when the time of possession is that far apart? 43 minutes to what, 17? That's ridiculous.
44 to be exact. And, yeah, you said the defense was impressive at some point. The defense can't do a lot when they're on the field for 3/4 of the game. It's just bad.
It was atrocious watching it. And heck, we were down the sidelines, obviously doing coverage for social media and stuff. Man, there's that one play that made it on ESPN Top 10. Yeah. That's what we said right there. That's gonna make it on Top 10.
Yep.
Whoop-de-doo, it made it on there. as number 6 overall, and it was a horrible game for us. I thought we should have won that game. We were better in every aspect as a team, but yeah, clearly we weren't, and we got beat. That's all I can say. We're not good right now.
Yeah, I think so too. And like a lot was on the line for both of these teams. Like they were both after their first conference win. North Al was after their first win of the season to begin with. They've just had a really rough back-to-back start. I had the opportunity to rewatch a media interview with Coach Dearman for North Alabama earlier in the week before the game, and he was just basically saying, like, we got to take this game one step at a time, and they did, and they really focused on the game and their goals for it. Even with this offensive line for North Al that was very injured and torn up, they
bad.
Still came out with the win, which shouldn't really happen. You should see this West Georgia team taking advantage of this injured team and really running with it, especially being 0-4, 0-5, whatever they were. But it was definitely not impressive for the Wolves.
Yeah, they did exactly what their coach said they needed to do. They took it one play at a time and beat our West Georgia Wolves 25-16. Hopefully we can get back rolling this weekend with another battered Austin P team coming into Carrollton. We'll see how that game goes. But look, it wasn't all doom and gloom for West Georgia Athletics this weekend. Our women's soccer team got back in the win column, beating Jacksonville yesterday with a score of 2-0. Very impressive game by the girls. I'm extremely happy to see it. It's been a rough season, way more downs than ups, but we're riding high right now after beating that Jacksonville team. I feel great after that one. And also, our volleyball team had a pretty up and down weekend as well. On Friday, September 27th, they beat Stetson at Stetson with a score of 3-1. My bad, not at Stetson. It was at Florida. No, it was at Stetson. I'm tripping. Look, I'm getting my stuff all confused.
Close enough.
Look, I'm still traumatized from that football game. That's what's happening. That football game is still holding me back. And look, and I miss Schrader. But our volleyball team got a big win against Stetson, winning 3-1. But then they also lost on Sunday against Florida Gulf Coast University with a score of 3-0. So still a very up and down season for our volleyball team, but they've shown flashes of what they can be, like when they just beat Stetson, when they beat the University of Idaho. But as I just said, it's been up and down a lot. They've been great in some stretches, and then in others, subpar. But there weren't only sports being played in West Georgia. Now, I'm still a little upset about this next game we're about to talk about. But let's go ahead and toss it into college football. Baby, it's college football time. Give me my theme music. Now look, it was a wild weekend in West Georgia with college football. I heard a lot of people left that game early. Cannot confirm if I did or not. Can't confirm or deny it. You have no proof.
Can't confirm it.
Look, but it was another big-time game. Another game a lot of people left out early in. The Georgia Bulldogs traveled to Tuscaloosa to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I tell you one thing, that game was a tale of two halves. In the first half of that football game, dare I even say the first quarter, Jalen Milroe put on a clinic, showing everybody that he is one of, if not the best quarterback in all of college football because of how he throws that deep ball, his accuracy down the field, and also what he's able to do with his legs. Jalen Milroe is dynamic. The literal word, he is, when you open up a dictionary and read the word dynamic, there's a picture of Jalen Milroe doing Millie rocking. There's a picture of Jalen Milroe Millie rocking under that word. It's incredible. What he can do on the football field is insane. It's like if you took Jadeveon Clowney, gave him Lamar Jackson speed and Aaron Rodgers deep ball accuracy. It's ridiculous. Jalen Milroe was built in a lab. But Georgia got back in this game. Carson Beck went on to throw for over 400 yards despite all the turnovers. Georgia had many chances to win this game, and I would dive into those chances very soon. But, Carlie, I'm going to kick it to you first. You're one of our resident Georgia haters, seeing that you are indeed an Auburn fan. And it's bold of you to hate on Georgia when Auburn's having the season that they're having, but I understand it. Hate knows no bounds. So let's start with you, Carlie. How do you feel about that game on Saturday?
I think it's very extreme to call me a hater, but okay.
Nah, you hate Georgia. Come on now.
Do you love us?
No, but
Then
that
they
is
hate us.
okay.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Well, let me just say, I watched that first half of the game, and I was absolutely blown away. I mean, you thought that was a Nick Saban prime team watching that first half. I mean, that was the kind of Alabama football that you see that you saw in Nick Saban's prime time. So I'm very impressed with Jalen Milroe and that team. I was like, because I told y'all, because even though our show got canceled on Thursday, we all made our picks. And I said Bama. And y'all were like, huh? Like what? And I was like, first of all, someone's got to be the devil's advocate. Number 2, Bryant-Denny at night. Please.
I don't recall.
And that's exactly what happened.
This is false information.
Look,
I have the receipts.
just a good piece of evidence. Ayden?
As a Georgia Tech fan, I'm not biased towards both teams like an Auburn fan. Don't want to see anybody succeed. I went behind enemy lines to Athens for this game.
Oh, Lord.
I was watching the first quarter in an Athens frat house. There was a lot of toxic masculinity, I believe would be the word. A lot of
Toxic
hatred.
or fragile?
Yeah, a lot of anger. Just pure anger when that scoreboard was 21-0 real early. And Georgia battled back. I got out of there quick, couldn't hang around, and that was dangerous territories. But I got out of there, and then Georgia started coming back. Carson Beck showed that he can battle back from adversity because he faced a lot of it in that game.
Right.
And this Alabama team looked different from those prime Nick Saban teams, I would say, because it wasn't A.J. McCarron, it wasn't Jake Coker back there at quarterback. It was Jalen Milroe, who's got a little more oomph to him, in my
Oh,
opinion.
yeah, got a little bit more gas in his tank. Bring a little something extra to the table.
Man, all right. This game, I mean, when they went up, 28-7 at half, or 30-7 at halftime, I was like, all right, we're cooked. Chat, we're done. Everything out the window. What, Mike Bobo, what are you doing? Because obviously, the first thing I saw is he tried to open that playbook. And we saw what happened. Carson Beck was tossing it up, laying the ball into the hands, but Aaron Smith, no other than Butterfingers himself, the man who hasn't started for the past 2 years because of this prime problem. I don't care if he led the whole night in receiving yards, but dude, you suck. I don't know why someone like you really starts at the end of the day. I get you get speed. You're the speedster, but dude, you played a piss poor game in my opinion. I was not a fan of it. Then Mike Bobo, you just tried to. I mean, we clawed back. I'm not happy with this game. We got to go win out the rest of the season, in my opinion. And I mean, it's crazy to think that we almost won, but we didn't make the best of it at the very end. I mean, other than that, the highlights really Carson Beck's thrown the most amount of yards in a game with 439. But then just to see 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions does not make me happy. So, and one of those interceptions was because of Aaron Smith because he was a freaking poo-poo head and ran the wrong route.
All right. You know what, John? If there's one thing we can count on, it's going to be you ragging on one specific player.
Yep.
I understand, though, because there was a bad drop in the beginning of the game. But I will say this. Yes, I am indeed a Georgia Bulldogs fan. Will never not be. I went out Saturday night with the game still on with my jersey on. You couldn't pay me to take that jersey off. Go Dogs, you cut me open, I bleed red. Why? Not because I'm human, but because I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan. This is what we do. But look, I'm honestly not as upset as people would think. Of course, I'm not happy to see my team lose that game, especially not happy to see my team go down 28 in the first quarter. But what I am happy to see is the way this team fought. It would have been so easy for this team as a whole, or Carson Beck specifically, to just turn it in. Mm-hmm. Carson Beck had 2 ugly interceptions in the first half. One at the very end of the first half when everybody thought Georgia was going to be able to score going into halftime and get the ball after because they deferred the kickoff. Threw another interception. Earlier in the second half, he was rolling out trying to escape pressure. Strip sack, fumble, his 3rd turnover. Then he had a interception to end the game as well.
Yep.
But a lot of quarterbacks would have been rattled. Terrible first half, multiple interceptions, a fumble to start the second half. But what did he do? Carson Beck and the rest of this football team continued to fight back. They showed that they're a championship caliber team. And what I saw from that game is those are the 2 best teams in the country. Mm-hmm. Alabama, largely because of Milroe and those crazy receivers that they have. Ryan Williams, he's a freak. When he goes out into the NFL draft, it's either going to be him or Jeremiah Smith as the first receiver off the board. He is an insane wide receiver. I cannot believe he's still supposed to be in high school. If he was in high school this year, he'd average 400 receiving yards a game.
Yep.
Like it wouldn't even be close. But anyway, this Georgia team fought hard. It would have been so easy for this team to turn it in at halftime, give up, throw the bench players in, and try to find some kind of spark. But this team continued to keep going. And I credit Kirby Smart. I credit that defensive staff. I can credit the entire coaching staff for keeping this team motivated. And I also credit Carson Beck for continuing to fight back. He ended up throwing for 439 yards that game. That was incredible. And Georgia, and even with his 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and a fumble, they had 5 or more chances to win this game. Before halftime, the last drive, multiple drives that ended in drops or penalties. Georgia had chances to win this game.
But they didn't.
Yes, but listen to what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter if there's chances. They didn't.
You know, it does matter if there's chances because this team didn't give up. And even despite being down 28, the fact that they still had chances to win this game shows how good this team really is. And when you look at the rest of their schedule, you look at that guy, Jalen Milroe. He's a freak. We all know that. He broke the game open for Alabama. As dynamic as he is largely the reason Alabama dominated the way they did. When you look at the rest of Georgia's schedule, yes, there are a lot of good teams they have to play, but there is not a single player as dynamic as Jalen Milroe. I think these are the best 2 teams in the country, and I expect them to face off again sometime this year, whether it's the SEC championship or sometime in the playoffs.
I gotta say one thing real quick, Carlie. I know you're kind of bashing us with Georgia, but what happened with Auburn and Oklahoma with dominating the whole game?
But you know what? That's irrelevant. Yeah. Auburn
that's very irrelevant.
But they're what? Go ahead.
You got it.
I was going to say there were other college football games played this weekend.
I was also going to say that, but you got it.
My apologies. I'll kick it to you first then. Ole Miss was upset at home by the Kentucky Wildcats, a Kentucky team that had Georgia on the ropes a couple weeks ago. And a lot of people kind of dismiss them like, is Kentucky really that good or is Georgia just bad? Well, we know Georgia ain't bad. But now we also know Kentucky ain't bad either because they just went on the road to Oxford to take down the Ole Miss Rebels with the final score of 20-17. Carlie, since I stole your thunder a second ago,
okay.
I'm going to slide it on over to you first. How did you feel about that game?
I mean, I'm very impressed with this Kentucky team. They've really given the people that they play a run for their money, really. And especially with this Ole Miss team, looking at Dart, I don't know. I've just seen some fishy stuff that he's done on the field and off the field. And
alrighty.
Okay, first of all, telling your player to fake an injury right then and there, I don't like. I think that's
People
bad.
do it all the time,
that's
though, for
playing
time
dirty.
management.
Right. However, like when you're just doing that to win a game, that you got yourself in this hole. I don't really know, but I think Kentucky really proved themselves. However, play fair and play right. That's my piece.
This Kentucky team has an elite defense.
Yes.
That defensive line is scary. The Georgia transfer, Dumas Johnson and Octavius Oxendine, one of the best names in college football, balled out in this game. They were saying his name a lot. It was fun because I got to keep hearing it, and he balled out. This Kentucky team, they just need to play decent enough on offense to keep them in the game, and that's their strategy for this year.
I was say, it was great, and also it's actually really good for Vandergrift from transferring from Georgia. As you see what he's gone through, but to get his statement win, I think. I mean, taking down the number 6 team in the country is awesome, and it's seeing that he's starting to get in his groove as a starter. So really, it's a props to Kentucky to get the job done because I thought Ole Miss was just going to cakewalk this team, but clearly they didn't cakewalk it, and they lost. So. Huge shout out to Vandergrift, man. I mean, way to go, buddy.
Yeah, that Kentucky defense is big time. They shut down what is a extremely high-powered Ole Miss offense. Tons of receivers up and down. Their running back room is really good. I'm still a big-time fan of Jackson Dart. I think he's a really good quarterback as well. I could see him getting drafted in the first round this year. But Kentucky's defense, back-to-back weeks, has shut down big-time powerhouse teams, starting with the University of Georgia and also going into Ole Miss, taking it on the road. Defense travels, and Kentucky definitely has a big-time one. Now, look, there were big-time games all around the country. I'm going to name off a few. Arizona took down Utah. Michigan beat Minnesota in a nail-biter. USC came back to beat Wisconsin in a game where they were once down 21-0. Well, no, they were down 21-7, excuse me. USC came all the way back to win 38-21. Notre Dame took down Louisville. Clemson has continued to dominate throughout their season. Kansas State bounced back against Oklahoma State, beating them 42-20. We all know Oklahoma beat Auburn at the very end of the game. BYU beat Baylor 34-28, and Colorado had a monster win against UCF. I want to say the final score was 42-28. There were big-time games all around the country.
48-21.
48-21. Look, even better for Colorado. They were able to run the ball. Their defense actually showed up, and we all know how they look when Shador is protected. They have some of the best weapons in the country, and they can ball out with just about anybody, skill position-wise, in the nation. So as we look at the AP poll, Alabama slides up to number 1. Georgia drops to 5. Texas slides to 2. We have Penn State in the top 10 as they had a big-time win against Illinois. It was still a very close game. They only won 21-7, but Illinois is still a very talented team. USC sneaks back into that top 15, sliding in at 11. Clemson also back into the top 15 in the 15 spot. The ACC is looking pretty shaky right now as well after Miami had a tough game against Virginia Tech. This week shook up a lot of things in the college football world. Ayden, I'm going to kick it to you first again. Let's start in the ACC. After watching Miami versus Virginia Tech ending on a nail-biter and how Clemson has surged after losing to Georgia, who do you think is the favorite to win it right now? Or who would you pick to win the ACC?
I'm still going to go with Miami.
Okay.
Because Cam Ward, when it comes down to it, is better than Cade Klubnik, I think. And this Miami game, the offense was still good. The offense was not the problem in that game. Cam Ward was a little turnover heavy. It was a messy game that happens sometimes. I think Miami's still good. I think Clemson's just had like a rebound part of their schedule. They still look terrible against Georgia.
Yep.
And they do look like a different team. I'll give them that. But they still don't look to be an elite team, I don't think.
Okay. Now look, John.
Yes.
Let's pivot from the ACC.
Yep.
When looking at the Big 12 picture, this might be the most wide open conference in all of college football. You've got Arizona. You've got Kansas State. You still have Utah. Oklahoma State. You've got teams. Texas Tech is a sneaky 4-1 despite not having a defense travel any week this season. And you also have Colorado. Now look, we are in the field of hyperbole.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But am I exaggerating when I say Colorado might just be the favorite to win the Big 12 this season?
No, it's reasonable right now. I mean, they're 4-1, and they steamrolled UCF, which I thought it was going to be the flip opposite. I thought UCF was going to be more established and be like, well, there goes Colorado down, slippery slope, done. But it's honestly, it's up there. They could definitely win it, and still guys like Travis Hunter, who could be a Heisman. He could definitely. They could definitely do it all.
Yeah, this year we're sized up to have another great Heisman race. You've got Travis Hunter. You've got Ashton Genty. You've got Jalen Milroe. You still have Shador Sanders and Cam Ward, who was my preseason Heisman pick. This could get really crazy this season. One last quick answer. With all that's been happening this weekend, Carlie, when looking at the SEC picture, if you had to pick a team to win the SEC right now, who would you go with? We've got Texas, Bama,
That's
Georgia,
really hard.
Tennessee.
I'm going to go out and go with Texas.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I got to steer away from Bama. I got to steer away from Georgia. This Texas team is really strong, and I think the second we underestimate them, they're going to prove us wrong.
I think you're right 100%. This Texas team is really good. I'm not saying I'd pick them to win the SEC right now, but if I was picking from a list of teams, they'd be very close to the top. This team's been balling, even without Quinn Ewers at quarterback. Arch has still been holding it down. Texas is still a team to watch. Don't get blinded by Georgia and Bama. Texas is still out there. Now, look, stay tuned, because when we get back, we're going to dive into this big-time NIL situation and talk about this past weekend in the NFL. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is five-time Olympic medalist Alana Myers-Taylor, and you're listening to Sports Pack, only on the Wolf Sports Network.
Because this isn't
not
the
the
end.
No, it's not the end at all.
It's just the beginning.
And this is just the beginning of Triple Threat, taking it live on the airways. So get ready to hear our takes,
Pimento cheese sucks.
and debates, and much more.
In college, what made Johnny Manziel so electrifying, how he got those big plays, was he would snap the ball, wait for the play to break down, and then make the play.
So catch us live on Fridays at 11, only on Wolf Sports Network.
The Dodgers introducing Shohei Ohtani after signing him to a record-breaking contract.
Nick Saban is retiring.
Breaking news on Sports Pack.
We've got craziness going on in the sports world right now, y'all. Welcome back. Once again, stay tuned. We're going to be on until 7. But look, the Braves have been in a wild series all day today in a doubleheader against the Mets. Pretty much win or go home. Not even pretty much. It is win or go home at this point. Let me paint it out for you. So going into today, the Braves had to win one game in order to punch their ticket into the playoffs. It looked like the Braves had it all knotted up. Up 3-0 going into the top of the 8th inning. Like smooth sailings, the Braves are gonna get it done. Then disaster struck. What was it? 6 runs from the Mets in the top of the 8th inning. It was insane.
Yeah.
But then the Braves bark right back, get back into the game. Nick, once again, filling in for Schrader. We got a bunch of guys rotating in for you, Schrader. We love you and we miss you. Nick, walk me through what happened in the last 2 innings of that Braves game.
Man, it was a rough one. Schwellenbach to start off pitched a great game.
You good?
Schwellenbach to start off pitched a great game, and then Jimenez came in, and things just started going downhill from there. Jimenez got bombed, and then Pierce Johnson comes in, and it just starts spiraling downhill. Slider right over the plate. Lindor did not miss a single part of it. And ultimately, the Mets ended up taking the lead after Ozzie with that miraculous 3-run double that he hit.
Man.
Oh, wait, it wasn't a grand slam?
It
was robbed of a grand slam?
It fell just short. It was a 3-run double, but man, I wish it was a grand slam.
After that 3-run double, I thought it was game.
I thought
the Braves had it. I thought they were going to take it home after that.
Yeah.
But now, game 2's already started. Carlie, what's the score to game 2 right now?
Right now, it's 1-0 Atlanta Braves, bottom of the 6th. So, I mean, we're getting to the point where we were a couple hours ago.
Exactly.
So, we'll see for the Braves. It's you win this or you go home. Like,
exactly.
That's
this is it.
That's it.
Like
so
the Braves have to win this game. Now, I know a lot of you listening right now are probably like, hold on, let me leave Sports Pack and go turn on the Braves game. You don't have to do that. You can pull up Sports Pack on your phone, put it up on your daughter's tablet, your husband's phone, the phone you use to cheat on your husband when he's not around, whatever it is. Pull up Sports Pack on whatever device you have on YouTube. Go ahead, hit like and subscribe, and then put the Braves game on your TV if you got to.
I thought we got done talking about cheaters back in the college football segment.
Look, man, cheating is a real thing. I don't do it, but there are people out here that do.
Moving on.
Watch your back, check that phone. Now look, also, big time news in the sports world. We have a big time NIL situation that has been developing over the past week now. We would have talked about it on Thursday's Sports Pack episode, but we didn't have a chance to because of the hurricane. Speaking of, you have any friends or family that were impacted, or if you yourself were, you were in our thoughts and prayers. We hope you're okay. So, what better time to talk about it now? Nick, I'm once again going to kick it to you again. How do you feel about this entire NIL situation, and can you walk us through what's been going on?
So, basically what I've been seeing is that it's pretty much known throughout college football that you have a red shirt. Once you play that 4th game, you've officially burned it. So, after that 3rd game, a lot of players are deciding, well, if I'm not getting what I was promised, what I was told, then I'm going to sit out. Matthew Saluka at UNLV, he kicked it off. Was supposedly promised $100,000. UNLV is saying that they didn't promise it, that a random coach just told him that, and it was a handshake deal, nothing written out. Matthew Saluka and pretty much his team is saying otherwise. And, yeah, in my opinion, if I'm short at $97K, I'm probably sitting out too.
Exactly.
That's a lot of money.
So, yeah, just a rough situation all around for UNLV, but, hey, apparently they move forward, so...
Right, and that's the big thing. That is the problem with NIL right now. I'm glad UNLV's backup quarterback was able to step in and ball out for the team. I hate to see a player quit on the team, but I have to think about it this way. Because I'm not a college athlete, never have been, look, at this rate, never will be. But look, if I'm sitting here, let's say I own a roofing company, and we go out, we agree on a flat rate, you're going to give me $250 to redo your roof. I know that's not a real estimate, but look, $250 to redo your roof. Now let's say I get there, I start working on your roof, and then you walk up to me and say, yeah, we can't do $250, but here's $15 in a bag of Doritos. I'm going to pick up all my equipment and leave. And that is exactly what Matthew Sluka just did with UNLV. He was promised $100,000. They only offered him $3,000. Well, they only gave him $3,000. His housing wasn't paid for. All they paid for was his transportation to pick up all his stuff and move to Las Vegas. He has gotten nothing else. And their rebuttal when he first brought it up to them was, we can give you $12,000 over a 4-week period. There's no way. I would not sit there and take that either. And that is the main problem with NIL right now. I am all for players getting paid. Do not misunderstand me. But when it comes down to this kind of stuff, you having a lot of under the table deals being done. Now, sometimes they work out for the players, but other times they do not. We saw it with Jaden Rashada. We're seeing it right now with Sluka. We need to put pen to paper on these deals. I understand people want to hold on to hold on to amateurism, but at this point where you're dealing with big time money like this, $100,000, $500,000, or $1 million, no matter what it is, you need to treat them like professionals. This stuff for deals like this, there needs to be pen to paper because it's ridiculous. He was just scammed. He was scammed to transfer to UNLV. Now, UNLV has been a great team. They're a playoff contender right now. They just destroyed the team they played the other day. But look, he was just scammed. He was finessed. We need to start putting pen to paper with these NIL deals. I'm not sure how they're going to do it yet, whether it's through revenue sharing and you get a certain amount of money for playing for a certain team in a certain conference. I'm not sure how it needs to get done. If I was to guess, I would say through revenue sharing. Let's say a player signs for Vanderbilt. Well, just because Vandy's in the SEC, this player gets $20,000 his first year, makes to a sophomore year, gets 30, junior year, 60, so on and so forth, maybe something like that. Then all the other things like the big-time $1 million deal from the car dealership comes from the outside donor, however you do it, but there needs to be a flat rate for these players. Because as of right now, we're seeing a lot of this right now. Seeing a lot of people getting scammed. And now we're starting to see players pretty much quitting on their team midway through the season like Sluka just did, intentionally redshirting. I didn't even know you could intentionally redshirt as a player. I didn't know that was an option. But we're seeing a lot of this now, and we need something to change. We got to get something changed. We got to get this NIL stuff fixed right now. Now, look, let's talk about some professional football. In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty. Yeah, man, we had a heck of a week in the NFL this season. And now, as a Georgia sports fan, we talked about the Georgia Bulldogs, went down. Talked about the Atlanta Braves, still down. It's been an emotional roller coaster because the Falcons just beat the Saints. The Falcons just beat their biggest rivals in what was a game that came down to the wire. I thought this game was over after that Bijan Robinson touchdown was called back for holding. I didn't really see a hold there, but right then, I thought the game was over. When the Saints went down to score with 30 seconds left, I thought it was a wrap. But man, in Koo we trust. Young Wei Koo once again bails the Falcons out. And now this team's sitting at 500. 2-2 Falcons team. The sky is the limit for this team. It's an exciting time to be a Falcons fan, I can tell you that right now. And we needed that after what has happened to the Braves, after what's currently happening to the Braves, and what has happened to the Bulldogs. John, I'm going to kick it over to you first. How do you feel about that Falcons win this weekend?
It was a tough win. Obviously, we saw the Aints come into our field and play a very good game. Actually, one thing that kept taking me off throughout the game is we do not account for Taysom Hill every single time we played him. But we got very lucky that Taysom Hill got injured and was out for the rest of the game. But really the fact that we don't account for Taysom Hill and his versatility was very much making me mad. But then you have to start the game basically for us to score. We have the muff punt for a touchdown. Then we have the pick six later. Then Kirk Cousins gets comfortable with the offense. O-line's blocking. No one to hate on this week with the Falcons' offensive line. Everything gets comfortable. Then we start winning, and like you said, in Koo we trust. Absolute dime through there, just pinpoint accuracy. Very glad that we got it done against the Saints. Gives us some more momentum and really showing that there's some things wrong with this team, but we're working them out. So I'm really glad that we won this game, especially since it's against the Saints. So I'll just take it for this as, Thursday. We're short this week, so we'll take it.
I feel like with the Falcons, they established the run pretty well. Tyler Algier impressed me with the power that he ran with.
Yeah, he had a game.
Problem with the offense is that you're not going to win games with the same formula. You got to put the ball in the end zone, and that's the bottom line. Just straight up have to put the ball in the end zone. And they didn't do that, but, hey, got a pick six.
That was such a tough pick six.
Yes, I mean, needed it. Pretty much got bailed out by a muff punt. Shaheed muffed the punt, took it in the end zone, and Koo ended up walking it off. And I was scared when I was hoping Dennis Allen was not smart enough to hand it to Alvin Kamara on third down. I was hoping for a pass play, but he got smart. And, hey, the Norcross legend just went ahead and powered his way in. And, yeah, that was that right there. But, man, thank goodness for Koo hitting a career-long 58-yard field goal. And thank goodness we play indoors as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to be at that game. I got to volunteer for the first part of it, but I did see that pick six. That was actually incredible to see in person. But, I mean, this was a really big game to kind of decide moving forward in the NFC South. Like, this, besides the Panthers, are just awful. I mean, between the Saints, the Falcons, and the Bucks, like, and looking at the Bucks game over the weekend, like, this is a division that is very up in the air, and I think all of these top three teams are very good contenders. So I think it was a big statement win for the Falcons.
No, it definitely was. I was extremely excited watching this game. It was a great game to watch, very entertaining. But like you said, John, the Falcons have a short week this week, hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another big-time division game, a team that has been red hot, might I add. Baker Mayfield threw for 4 touchdowns. Threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for 1. Doesn't matter. He threw for over 300 yards this past game, destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a red-hot Buccaneers team. And the Falcons, while they've looked good in phases, special teams and defense looked great. The offense looked pretty solid this past game against the Saints. But this is a team that needs to find a way to punch the ball in. This team needs to score touchdowns if they want to win this division because the Buccaneers are looking to go back-to-back. Now, look, we had another big-time game, a team trying to prove to everybody that they are indeed a contender this year. The Minnesota Vikings walked into Lambeau and took over Lambeau. Now, the Packers got back in it late, but the Vikings were able to hold on to take down the Green Bay Packers in Jordan Love's return. That defense behind Brian Flores has been incredible. And I almost said Andy Dalton. And wow, I'm blanking.
Sam Darnold?
And Sam Darnold, thank you. Sam Darnold has been on an MVP pace. He's been balling. He has been balling out, doing exactly what needs to be done for this Vikings team. We already know they have the receivers with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. But looking at this team with Sam Darnold at quarterback, playing some pretty solid ball, and a defense that is arguably the best in the NFL, this might be a real deal contender. Nick, are you buying that?
Yeah. Like right now, you have who arguably is the best receiver in the league in Justin Jefferson. I mean, and Sam Darnold looks like he's in a system that fits him. The development has finally showed up for Sam Darnold, and he's utilizing his talent really well. So, and the defense is looking good. You know, that's something that's always been a Vikings Achilles heel for years and years, and now they have a defense. They're finally stopping people. And like they say, defense wins championships, offense sells tickets, and when you have both of them, if they can stay consistent and stay healthy, this is going to be a team to reckon with.
Yep.
I mean, this team has shocked me every single week, and I'm really getting more and more shocked by Sam Darnold putting on an absolute show and making them win. And really, it's like, is Sam Darnold in contention for MVP? Is he? I mean, it's very persuading to me right now that he is, and he's just in a good system. And like you're saying with the defense, they have a great defense right now, and it's just they're still undefeated. They're playing great. I'm shocked by this. I am genuinely shocked that the Vikings are doing this good, because I thought Sam Darnold was going to come in and you win about 3 games, great, you get yourself another draft pick, get you another weapon of some sort. But no, they're 4-0. They're playing great. So I'm just more than shocked from this Vikings team.
Yeah, I knew the defense was going to be solid for this Vikings team, but seeing that Sam Darnold and the offense has really been able to back it up, step up with J.J. McCarthy going down, they're one of the surprises of the NFL season to me right now. But notice I say one of them, because the surprise of the NFL season is easily the Washington Commanders. Being led by Jaden Daniels, they have been dominant. Cliff Kingsbury in the offense has been humming, really making up for a defense that isn't that great, but they have been killing it. Jaden Daniels is obviously Offensive Rookie of the Year right now if the season was to end. The running game has been clicking. The passing game has been clicking. This is a team that's looking like the best team in the NFC East right now, because you have the Cowboys who have been in shambles for the past few weeks. The Giants are still the Giants. They have Malik Neighbors, but like I said,
you have
the
Daniel
Giants.
Jones as quarterback.
Exactly, and the Eagles have collapsed over the past few weeks. Now, yes, Both of their wide receivers are down. No A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith. But the Eagles do not look like the Eagles that played the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So, Carlie, I'm going to kick it to you first. What do you make of this NFC East picture right now? Do you think the Eagles and the Cowboys step back up, or is this the Commanders' division to win?
I definitely think it's the Commanders' division to win. I mean, Ayden Daniels is balling out. I mean, especially against that game against the Bengals. Like, I think that was the game that he really proved himself. And, I mean, there's really not much Jalen Hurts can do with this Eagles team without A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I mean, like, that trio is the dynamic piece of that offense, and without that, it's really hard to succeed.
Ring, ring. Hello. What's that? Eagles are frauds? They're not the real birds? It's surprising. Yeah, I'm going to say that the Commanders can definitely win right now being 3-1, and Ayden Daniels is balling. Cliff Kingsbury said he's got control of the offense. He's letting him do his thing, and you're seeing what he's doing out there, absolutely shutting down the Arizona Cardinals. So, yeah, Ayden Daniels is looking great out there, and, yeah, definitely Washington can win it right now.
Like I said, consistency and health is key. If they can stay consistent and stay healthy, it's Washington's division to lose, and right now, with the way the Eagles are looking, the way the Cowboys and the Giants are looking, well, like you said, the Giants are the Giants. Eagles are in shambles that have to recover. They're down 2 star players.
Yep.
And then the Cowboys, well, it depends. I mean, you know,
you never know what you're going to get with
them. However they wake up feeling on a Sunday is what you'll get. And right now, Ayden Daniels has something to prove as a rookie. And if you're not careful, he'll burn you for 400 if he feels like it.
Exactly.
So you just got to be ready for that.
Yeah, the NFC East is definitely going to be a division to keep an eye on. I'm not sure who I'd pick to win it right now. I picked the Eagles in the preseason. I still like what the Eagles can do. Jalen Hurts needs to control his turnovers, and he hasn't really turned the ball over the past couple weeks. I think he played a clean game against the Buccaneers, if I'm not mistaken. But now that he's playing clean games, his top 2 receivers are down. His only weapon is Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley. They need help. The secondary's still shaky. I'm not sure what to make of this division right now, but I'm also not sure what to make of the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Because, yes, they're 4-0, but that 4-0 is very misleading. They lost to the Baltimore Ravens by Isaiah Likely's big toe was out of bounds. They barely beat the Atlanta Falcons. Who else did they beat?
I know they beat the Chargers, and they beat the – why am I blanking on it? Oh, my gosh.
I don't know. Just know they're 4-0, and they just beat the Chargers as well in a game that was, once again, really ugly. Rashee Rice has been one of the only bright spots for this Kansas City Chiefs team, and now Rashee Rice is down with what people are suspecting is an ACL caused by Patrick Mahomes throwing a pick, something that he has done a lot this season. Patrick Mahomes has thrown a pick in every single game this season. He hasn't looked like the Patrick Mahomes we all know and love. Now, we all know he's super dangerous. He can throw the ball from any angle. He is the best quarterback in the NFL. But he has not played to the Patrick Mahomes standard so far this year. Now, also losing Rashee Rice and having Travis Kelce really showing his age as a tight end right now, the defense is still good. But what is there to make of this Chiefs team? Are they still the team to beat in the AFC, and should they still be Super Bowl favorites?
That depends on what answer you want. Do you want the truth, or do you want to
say?
Give me the truth, Nick. Tell me your truth.
All right, black and white stripes. That's the real truth right there. A lot, like, they've been bailed out a lot.
Yeah.
The refs have bailed them out, and Falcons got the pass interference.
Bengals as well. That was the team we were blanking on, the Bengals game.
Yep, that is it. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
Now, the Falcons did have their chance to win it at the end,
They
but
did.
the refs will keep this team in the game. It's just been just an epidemic with the Chiefs, and truth be told, that's a big reason why they're 4-0 right now. They could just as easily be 1-3, 0-4, or 2-2. So that's my truth.
John?
Yeah.
Oh, Carlie, sorry.
You go ahead, Carlie.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They've been bailed out a lot by the refs, and, like, I saw this video, and it was like the Chiefs were literally 3 plays away in 3 different games away from being, like, 1-3 or something like that. And I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to business. Like, this Kansas City Chiefs team, I mean, obviously with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, like, you're bringing in this whole new
this whole new crowd.
Demographic, this whole new crowd. Like, it's really a business at the end of the day, and I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I don't know what happens with the refs, but they've definitely been bailed out a lot. So I don't know. I think it would be a statement win to beat them and prove that, but it'd be really hard if the refs are on their side.
I'm just waiting for someone to beat the Chiefs finally. I mean, I'm sick of it. And really what you're thinking of is saying the Chiefs have been 4 plays away from being 0-4. Simple as that. They've been bailed out every single time. They just don't look the same as they were last year, where you just see that absolute versatility and dynamics in there. It's just, they're not looking good, so maybe they're a little questionable over there.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with this Chiefs team whatsoever. Not at all. Now, if I had to pick one team to be the flat-out Super Bowl favorite after this week, I'd pick a 2-2 team right now. I'd pick the Baltimore Ravens because the Ravens were right there in that game. A lot of penalties stopped them from beating the Chiefs, but also they had an opportunity to win it, and they did not. Isaiah likely had his foot out of bounds. Okay, whatever. But they're still a really good team. They gave a big-time lead to the Raiders, but they've snapped back. They just went out and splattered the Bills. They had another big-time win as well. This Baltimore Ravens team is really good, and they're looking to make up from last year. I'm not impressed with the Chiefs. If I had to pick a team right now to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, I would pick the Ravens. They have been the most consistently impressive team in the AFC. Now, look, stay tuned because we have a monster Monday Night Football doubleheader to pick. But until then, take a listen to this song break, and we'll be back soon.
This is Super Bowl champion quarterback Brad Johnson, and you're listening to Sports Pack on the Wolf Sports Network.
Real quick reminder for those of you that may be listening on YouTube and or Twitch, we are indeed a radio station first, and right now this awkward pause that you're hearing isn't an awkward pause at all. It's a song break. So if you want to hear the great music that we're playing, go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, hit that play button in the top left-hand corner of the screen, or press that play here button in the middle of the screen to hear the great music that we're playing. And once it's over, either stay tuned over there or hop on back over to the YouTube or Twitch stream to hear how we end off this show. You are not going to want to miss our picks to this Monday night doubleheader.
Their team sucks and they're mad as heck. Falcons O's looking like a mess. They'll never win if Kirk is in. Goodness gracious, they're fired up.
Wait, Jackson, why are you dissing the Falcons? Aren't you an Eagles fan?
Because I can. Anyways, tune in to Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 5 for Fire Me Ups you don't want to miss. Only on Wolf Sports Network.
Quick reminder, dining dollars are available to use at the East Commons Pack Shack, the TLC, the Noonan Micro Mart, and in any Coca-Cola vending machine on campus. More information about anything meal related can be found on Dine West's Instagram at UWG_Dine_West. Now look, as I said a minute ago, we have a monster, we have a monster Monday Night Football doubleheader. And it's so weird to have Monday Night Football doubleheaders. I'm used to sitting back watching one game, punching in some last minute assignments while doing so. But now I got a channel surf, keep an eye on my fantasy team. And, man, being a football fan is stressful.
It is.
Never forget that. Now, our first game, starting at 7:30, we have the Tennessee Titans traveling down to South Florida to take on the Miami Dolphins. We got my guy Dalen filling in for Schrader once again. Schrader, we miss you. I'm not going to say it again. But, Dalen, I'm going to slide it on over to you first. Who do you like in this matchup? The banged-up Miami Dolphins or the shaky Tennessee Titans?
Okay, so we both know these teams are both looking pretty bad right now. But, honestly, let's be for real. The Titans have no chance.
Really?
Miami's going to, yes, they have no chance.
Okay.
I just don't believe so. The Titans have looked pretty bad to me all year, and even though Miami is banged up, I just have one word to say: Tyreek Hill, or that's 2 words, I guess, or a name.
Just one name.
Yeah,
just
one name. Yeah, one name. Sorry, but Tyreek Hill.
All right. Got the Titans here,
Yeah.
John.
I mean, it's kind of surprised me. The Dolphins have what's his name, Tyler
Huntley.
Thank you. So it's not Tim Boyle. So for fantasy wise, I'm actually looking pretty good there. A-Chain's gonna get some more carries and all that. Maybe Tyreek Hill gets a little something from Huntley, but it's just the battle of mid now, and Will Levis is mid, and I just don't know what's going on in the Dolphins front office. So I'm just gonna stick with the Dolphins on this one because the Will Levis has been playing like crap, and just the Titans have not gotten things done.
I'm going to be devil's advocate today, and I'm going to choose the Titans. I think if the Titans are going to win a game, it's going to have to be against a banged-up team. When you have an injured team, you don't have a good team. North Al is the exception. However, I got to be devil's
I just got that.
I got to be devil's advocate. I'm going to choose the Titans. I mean, there's a lot going on in Florida just with everything that's been going on, but also, like, without Tua, like, there's just a lot of things around Miami that when you have this banged-up team, it doesn't look good. If the Titans are going to win a game, this is going to be the one that they need to win.
I understand where you're coming from, Carlie, because I thought about the same thing as well. When looking at this Dolphins team, especially if Skylar Thompson was still playing at quarterback, going up against this extremely talented and underrated Titans defense, I definitely would have picked the Titans all day. But the Dolphins went out and signed Tyler Huntley from the Ravens practice squad, and he hasn't been able to play with this team long. You might be thinking, what, a practice squad quarterback? What are you talking about? Tyler Huntley can play.
Yep.
He came in a few times over the past few years for Lamar Jackson and times he's gone down. He even had to start a playoff game for the Baltimore Ravens, and he didn't look half bad. He's a threat with his legs. As of right now, he's improving from Tua because Tua cannot stay healthy. I wish him the best of luck getting back on the field very soon. But Tyler Huntley is not a bad quarterback whatsoever. And you're really putting him in a position where he's going to have the best wide receivers he's ever had to play with in his life. He's got Jalen Waddle. He's got Tyreek Hill. He has Devon A-Chain in the backfield, who is a really good running back and can also catch balls for him at the backfield. And as I said, solid offensive line, and Tyler Huntley can get it done with his legs. The Dolphins' defense isn't half bad either, going up against a Will Levis-led Titans offense that's been pretty shaky all season. I'm going to lean the Dolphins here. I really like Tyler Huntley. I think they went out and signed the right quarterback. They brought the right guy in. And look, Jalen Waddle and Calvin Ridley. If for some reason you're listening, your mama listening, your auntie listening, your stepdaddy cousin listening, whoever it is, I need them to tell you, I need you to understand, I need a big game from you. I'm down big time in fantasy right now. Look, James Cook was very underwhelming last night. The Baltimore Ravens dominated. I need you to pull through and ball out for me.
Relay that to A-Chain and Tyreek Hill, please.
Another player as well, to segue into the next game. DK, I need at least a touchdown, maybe 105 yards from you, because the Seattle Seahawks are playing against the Detroit Lions tonight in Detroit. Over the past few years, this game has been amazing. Must-see TV shootouts over the past 2 years. Seattle won this game in overtime last year. It's been an incredible game. There's been an incredible series between these two teams, and both teams are red hot again right now. The Lions are 3-1. The Seahawks are 4-0. This is a game that is going to go down to the wire. I understand if you don't watch the Titans-Dolphins game, but this is a game you do not want to miss. Carlie, I'm going to kick it over to you first. Who do you like in this game? The Seattle on the road or the hometown Detroit Lions?
I got to take the hometown Detroit Lions, period.
Simple as that. Dalen?
Honestly, I really don't know. I do like Detroit's offense. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Got the options across the field, man.
Yeah, they look good. Jared Goff struggled a little bit, but I do like their offense. However, Seattle is 3-0. I haven't seen that from them in a long time. Geno Smith isn't playing too bad. Their running back, Charbonnet's look solid too. Honestly, I don't know too many of their weapons aside from DK, but I'm going to probably lean Lions tonight too.
Okay.
Listen, the Lions are debuting their black uniforms tonight. They're going to look so clean out on there. And I have a feeling that man, Jared Goff, when he's got a clean uniform, it's brand new, that's just extra hype to push him along behind. And I think Dan Campbell and his Lions just get it done tonight. They win by a touchdown.
Now, look, before I make my pick, I'm going to kick it on over to Joey real quick. He's been shadowing all night. Joey, who takes this game home tonight?
As much as it's going to hurt, I'm a Seahawks fan, first and foremost. It's the Lions. No doubt about it. It's the Lions tonight.
Okay, I didn't see that coming. I thought, especially with you being a Seahawks fan, I thought you were going to pick Seattle here. Now, look, I'm not even trying to play devil's advocate. I really believe the Seattle Seahawks are going to win this game tonight.
Lies.
I'm dead serious. I've been impressed with this team. They've played the Lions tough over the past couple years, and the Lions secondary has been pretty shaky all season. They've battled some injuries, and they've also had a lot of rookies rotating in. Terrion Arnold, I think he's going to be really good, but he's been struggling with penalties, keeping up with big-time receivers down the field. We saw that with Mike Evans and with Chris Godwin. Brian Branch, I'm not sure if he's playing tonight, but he went down. Exactly, he's not playing tonight. He's one of their big-time corners. BB has been balling out for the Detroit Lions, and he's not playing tonight either. Their secondary's banged up. I think they have the offense to compete with anybody, but with that bruised-up secondary and the Seahawks defense led by new head coach Mike McDonald improving week in and week out, I like the Seahawks odds. They've got Geno, a quarterback that can push it down the field. Charbonnet's been playing good at the running back position, but Kenneth Walker is also healthy and coming back into this starting lineup. And you have DK Metcalf, who's had a great start to his season. Jackson Smith and Jigba. You still have Tyler Lockett. I believe this Seattle team is going to come out for blood against Detroit. It's going to go down to the wire. This is going to be a great Monday Night Football game, but I am buying all the Seattle stock. I think the Seahawks are going to be 4-0 at the end of tonight. Now, look, I want to thank y'all once again for tuning in to another episode of Sports Pack. I want to thank all of you all for filling in. I want to thank Ayden, Nick, Dalen. Can you please pass me that picture, sir? I want to thank Joey here for filling in for us, for making a pick for us and also shadowing for us. I want to thank you three for filling in for Schrader. Schrader, we miss you. Can't wait to see you again next week. And remember, I'm saying next week because we do not have a Thursday show because this week is fall break. Wednesday's our last day up until next Monday. So don't tune in Thursday. Rewatch the show if you want to. But tune in again next Monday. We'll be live, same bat time, same bat channel. I'm your host, Richard Reed. For Carlie, Dalen, John, and Joey, I'm signing off. See you next time, and God bless. You are now listening to WSN Wolf Sports.